I hope you've enjoyed this introduction to user experience, and I hope that you found it valuable. I look forward to your comments in the course feedback about the things that you liked and the things that we could do better in the future. What we talked about in this course is, first of all, the importance of user experience, why it's important to get it right, both from the user's perspective, but also from the perspective of the producer of the system or product. We also talked about the fact that user experience doesn't come easily or naturally. You have to follow a certain process and you have to keep certain things in mind to make sure it comes out well. But the good news is we do know how to make it easier. We know certain things that we can do to help steer the product design process towards a positive outcome for users. And in particular, we talked about following an iterative prototyping process so that we can fail fast and learn from our mistakes. Applying user-centered research and design methods to make sure that we keep users' needs and users' desires in focus throughout the process. We also talked about the importance of understanding a bit about human behavior so that we can avoid obvious pitfalls and move towards designs that will work better for people. And we also talked about how an iterative process allows us to apply common sense to steer towards a product design that will deliver a good user experience. In this course, we've also given you a little taste of the kinds of things that we do in user experience research and design. So you've had the opportunity to conduct a micro-usability test to give you a little bit of a sense of how we evaluate systems with users. And you've gotten some experience with sketching and ideation, going through the generate, converge, and generate process to start the process of designing solutions to problems that you identify through user experience research. So what next? Where do you go from here? Well, one way to go is to get deeper into UX research. So you can learn techniques and methods for better understanding user needs so that you can design products that meet those needs. You can learn techniques for doing formal user testing, going beyond the micro-usability testing that we performed in this class. You can learn about inspection methods or techniques that you can use without users to closely look at a prototype or a design and compare it against best practices that we know work for designing good user experiences and ones that don't work. You can learn about large-scale user experience research methods like web analytics and surveys, and A/B testing and distributed usability testing. And these are useful when you're designing products that are intended to reach large numbers of people. You can also get deeper into user experience design and gain more experience with building different types of prototypes, from low fidelity to high fidelity prototypes. You can learn techniques for representing users and their tasks to help keep design teams focused on users and their needs and what it is that they're trying to accomplish. You can learn about standard techniques for specifying system behavior. So these are things like wireframes and flow maps that help translate a design into something that a developer can take and build into a working system. And you can gain experience with putting it all together. So combining UX research and UX design in a single product and going through that iterative process that we've been talking about several times to iterate towards a final design. And this deeper dive is what we've designed the MicroMasters in User Experience Research and Design to accomplish. So you're at the end now of the first class in the MicroMasters series. The Introduction to User Experience. After this, we offer a class called Understanding User Needs, where you'll look at methods for uncovering what users' needs are and how they currently try to satisfy those needs. So you can understand what works and what doesn't, and lay the groundwork for a better design that could do a better job. Principles of Designing for Humans looks at what we know about how people work, how they perceive information, how they act in the world, and how they behave when interacting with systems, so that we can design systems that work well with those capabilities and those patterns of interaction that people naturally gravitate towards. In the course Evaluating Designs with Users, we take a deeper dive into usability testing and other forms of interaction with users using a system or a prototype to gain insight into what works and what doesn't when people try to accomplish tasks using those systems. Next, we offer a two-part series in UX design where we first take design from the basic initial concept to the stage of wireframes, and then take the wireframe to an interactive prototype. In UX research surveys, we look specifically at the survey method, which is very important, especially in large-scale UX efforts, where we can collect information from huge numbers of people about their attitudes, behaviors, and characteristics. And following that, we look at other scalable research methods like web analytics and online experiments, where we can understand how people are using systems on a large scale and perform usability testing using hundreds or even thousands of remote participants. And finally, the MicroMasters in UX Research and Design wraps up with a capstone where you'll have the opportunity to take a project all the way from an initial problem to a final design that you believe will satisfy that problem and deliver a great user experience. I hope that you will join me on this journey, and I look forward to seeing you in future classes.